must win. We'll prep you for the Niners and Patriots. All that and why good news for Tua means bad memories for Kurt Warner. This is getting personal. This is NFL Total Access. Welcome to NFL Total Access. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz. Wednesdays mean Willie McGinnis is in studio with us. Joining us on our big, beautiful stage are James Jones, Kurt Warner, and D'Angelo Hall. Does the week feel a little shorter to you? Yeah, me too. That just means less of a wait until our next game day. And we start with our Total Access game of the week, the battle of the undefeated teams.
Here we go. Throws over the middle, intercepted. Touchdown, Minka. Little Minka magic can do today.
Tannehill looking, throwing, complete. Brown in the end zone.
Oh, that is Chase Claypool into the end zone for a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown. And then kind of knew it. Connor gets the block on the flank, inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown, James Conner.
40, 30, 20, 15, end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, 94 yards.
This is the fifth time in NFL history where two undefeated teams meet this late in the season. The previous four, the winner went on to the Super Bowl. No pressure, guys. All right, let's welcome in Willie McGinnis and James Jones. There he is, Willie, in studio with us. Now, Steelers and Titans sounds more like Transformers going head-to-head, doesn't it, guys? Willie, what's your matchup to watch going into this game?
It's going to be a game of the trenches. And I know I'm a defensive lineman and an outside linebacker, but the Titans, they want to win in the trenches, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have always wanted to win in the trenches. And the offensive line for the Titans have been destroying front sevens for the last few weeks. So when you look at how they want to approach a football game, being physical, being dominating, and look at how they've been able to get the play-action game started, it started up front. They go with a lot of different personnel groups. You'll see 13, which is 3 tight ends. They'll bring in a lineman to play tight end. They'll go 12 personnel. They want to maul you up front. They want to get you off the ball. They want to get their hands into you and walk you off. Defenders understand this when you're playing the Tennessee Titans. They want to wear you down. So when you're playing against the Tennessee Titans, when the Pittsburgh Steelers go up against them, eat a big meal the night before, pack your lunch, get carbs, all that stuff, because they are not going to get away from running the football and trying to beat you up physically in the trenches.
You know what, Willie? It is going to start in the trenches, and they're going to load that box up, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to stop Derrick Henry in this run game. And then off of that, you spoke of the play-action pass. Well, they have a guy in A.J. Brown who is absolutely special. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he is like a baby, Derrick Henry, because it is hard to bring him down. He is healthy. They got him back, and it is going to be tough to stop A.J. Brown when you load these boxes up trying to stop Derrick Henry. And that is why Ryan Tannehill is having the success that he's having. That right there, we all know, is the game winner. This right here is just big boy physical. I'm going to give you the little bent arm pressure, and I'm going to get across the field, and he can run every route. They move him all over the football field. And like I said, with the ball in his hands, you better not hit him. You better wrap him up, Willie, and try to get him down. He is absolutely special. So if you want to load the box up and you want to stop the run because that O-line is mauling people, Willie, you better be ready to make some plays on the back end if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary.
All I'm hearing here is that we need oatmeal. We need Wheaties. We need a little bit of divine intervention before we watch a game like this. Exactly. Willie and JJ, thanks.
Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, University of Alabama. Hearing my name get called on draft day, that's going to mean everything to me and my family.
The Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa.
I would say the strengths to my style of play is my pocket presence.
Tagovailoa going to go to the end zone.
Touchdown!
Touchdown!
Guess who? How many times have you seen this?
And also with the accuracy and timing.
Watch this! All the way to the house! One of the best ever for the Crimson Tide.
And I'll be off once in Miami. It's a blessing. That's all I could say.
Tua time is here. Miami's 5th overall pick is getting ready to make his first NFL start in Week 8 when the Dolphins host the Rams. Tua got his first NFL reps in the Fins' shutout win over the Jets just last week. Let's welcome in our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner. Kurt, what was your initial reaction when you heard that Tua was being named the starter in Miami?
Well, MJ, my initial reaction, like a lot of people, was, why now? You know, the team's playing the best it's played. Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing great football. But then the very next thought in my head was, oh, where have I seen this before? And, oh, yeah, it happened to me in 2004 with the New York Giants. We were, 5-4. We were a playoff team if the season had ended at that point, and they made the move to go to Eli Manning. And the big thing that I remember is Coach Coughlin bringing me into his office and basically looking me in the eye and saying, hey, Kurt, the reason that we're sitting where we're at right now is because of how you've played, that this is not fair. This is not anything that you deserve. But this is what I feel I need to do in the best interest of this organization. And it wasn't about that season. It was about the future, so that when the team was ready to win a championship, their quarterback was ready to win a championship. And we all know how that played out for the New York Giants. And that's what you have to look at here is that, I understand. I heard Fitz's comments today about how much this hurt. It doesn't make it any easier for Fitz, but we understand that this is a long-term decision for the future of this organization. The team is starting to play well. Now let's get our young quarterback in there so he can play well as we get ready to compete for a championship.
Oh, first-hand experience mixed with a little deja vu there, Kurt. All right, from a rookie debut to a veteran resurgence, Tom Brady had a fantastic game against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Now, Brady and the Bucs get ready for Derek Carr and the Raiders. What matchup are you looking towards in that game?
Well, interesting, MJ, because we would talk about, Tom Brady and the performance that he had last week. We talked about Derek Carr and the performance when he was on the field against the Chiefs and that last impression there. But I really think the matchup to watch is going to be the front seven of the Bucs defense. We saw what they did to Aaron Rodgers in that Packers run game against the offensive front of the Raiders, and Josh Jacobs running the football against Devin White and Levante David, who I believe are the best tandem of linebackers going in the NFL right now. And so that to me is where this game is going to be won and lost. Quarterbacks, they will have their part, but whoever wins that battle, defensive front of Bucs against the offensive front of the Raiders, I believe goes a long way in winning this game.
And we'll actually get to hear from Levante David a little later in the show. And Kurt, you hang tight too, because I want to check in with you. Make sure we get your top 5 QBs from Week 6. And for more on the Raiders offensive line, Tom Pelissero with us now. Now, Tom, the Raiders had to make a quick decision to keep their players protected today. What else can you tell us?
Well, MJ, really those decisions are dictated by medical experts and the NFLPA protocols on close contact exposure. When you have an individual test positive, as Raiders right tackle Trent Brown did, you have contact tracing that you go through, identify people who were close to him. In this case, it makes sense. The guys who would be closest to Trent Brown would be the other starting offensive linemen. Now, there are different levels of close contact under those protocols. And even if the other linemen are deemed to be high-risk close contacts, they potentially could be back prior to Sunday's game against the Bucs. Their exposure to Brown would have been on Monday. Players were off yesterday. The mandatory isolation period is 5 days. So you do the math there. They could be cleared if they test negative for COVID-19 throughout the week. As for Trent Brown, he just came back after missing 3 games because of a calf injury, got back on the field in Week 5, and now it certainly appears as if he will not be playing against a very good Tampa front, MJ.
A lot of adjustments there for that O-line. All right, Tom, a name we haven't really heard in a while. Antonio Brown is almost at the end of his suspension. What are you hearing about AB?
Well, MJ, that suspension tentatively is set to end on November 2nd, so naturally you are going to have speculation about who, if anyone, might give AB a shot, and pressure on Antonio Brown's agent now to find him a job. It is not a secret that one team that has done a lot of work on Antonio Brown is the Seattle Seahawks. They're in on a lot of deals. Some of them don't come to fruition, but they have been tracking this with Antonio Brown. He's got an advocate in the building in Russell Wilson, who spent time working out with AB in the offseason. Geno Smith, the Seahawks backup quarterback, is also close with AB. This is complicated in terms of the conversation before signing him. Nothing imminent as of now, but Coach Pete Carroll did address Antonio Brown today.
All right, Tom.
This is what happens. This is a high-profile football player, and he's had a tremendous history and all that. So the fact that it's really, everybody's curious about it, it makes sense. And so this is no exception, so we'll see what happens, as we go forward. But we're tuned into what's happening there.
It's not clear as of this point, MJ, whether or not AB would actually take a contract that is somewhere close to the minimum. He was looking for guaranteed money throughout the offseason, something in the range of 1 year for $5 million. And he wanted those guarantees, which is difficult for any team to commit to given everything going on with Antonio Brown. He was suspended 8 games for 2 different incidents, a felony battery case involving a truck driver in which he pled down. There was also an allegation of sexual misconduct raised by an artist. And the NFL has left open its personal conduct investigation and told Antonio Brown that that suspension potentially could be extended depending what new evidence, if any, comes out in an ongoing civil case in Florida filed by a woman who has accused him of rape and sexual assault. What you have here is a 32-year-old wide receiver who played in 1 game last season for the Patriots, has had more legal issues than touchdown catches since the end of the 2018 season. There is no question, if you watch the videos Antonio Brown posts to social media, that he can still move, he can still play, but again, a complicated conversation for teams to have about bringing in a guy who, to say the least, has had some unreliable behavior through the years, MJ.
A lot for any team to have to consider. Tom, thank you. All right, let's check in on notable injuries to watch in Week 7. Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley was limited today with an elbow. Baker Mayfield was limited at Browns practice, nursing a chest injury. Lions defensive end Trey Flowers with a wrist, and Packers tackle David Bakhtiari with a chest. They did not participate in their team practices, and Joe Mixon was not at practice in Cincinnati. Financial Field, where the Eagles will host the Giants in this week's Thursday night football game. Let's get you out to Philly, where we find Mike Garafolo inside of Lincoln Financial Field. Willie McGinnis joins me in studio here as well. Now, guys, Giants and Eagles are right in the middle of the weirdest division in the league. Mike, and a lengthy list of injuries for the Eagles ahead of this game.
That's one word for the division, MJ. I could think of a few more. But you're talking about the injuries here with the Eagles, and they will be without Zach Ertz. They've already been without Dallas Goedert, so both of their tight ends down. They were hoping to get Alshon Jeffrey back, their wide receiver, but he's now got a calf issue. That's the reason that he's not active for this game. He's had that foot since last year. The hope is that he's going to ramp up next week and get himself back for the Cowboys game. They will also be without Miles Sanders, their running back, and he was sorely missed in week 1 of this season when he sat out as well. So it's an extremely banged up Eagles team. Yes, they're going to have Lane Johnson, their right tackle, back. Yes, they will have Deshaun Jackson. Yes, Travis Fulgham has been a revelation, but they need this offense in this passing game to start clicking a little bit better, particularly earlier in games. And look, Carson Wentz has lifted this team over the last year plus with the fact that he hasn't had his top targets at his disposal. But look, he can even play a little bit better as well. So they're hopeful that he'll be able to let the football go. He's held the ball longer than he ever has at any point in his career, almost 3 seconds on average. So they want to get this passing game back in rhythm. The problem is you're going up against the Giants defense and a secondary that is very good, that is able to disguise coverages. This is not a great team. They've got 1 win, but they are a tough defense, and that defense has kept them in games even against teams that are considered far superior. So this should be a tight game and a hotly contested one for an NFC East that is definitely wide open. So, Willie, tell me and tell Giants fans what reasons they should have for hope after they secured their first victory.
Didn't you just list them all, Mike G, about all the fails of the Philadelphia Eagles and what they don't have on the football field and what they're not accomplishing? If you look at what the Giants are doing, they're not blowing you away with their numbers or their stats, but they're playing good team ball, okay? They're efficient on offense. They're not throwing the ball as much down the field. They are rushing the ball over 130 yards last week. That kid right there, he does throw the ball away at times to the opposite team, but he is making some plays. Now, they got to do a better job at protecting them, keeping it balancing with the run game. The defense, in my opinion, has been the spark. They've been able to get after the quarterback. They've been able to take the football away and score on defense, which plays into what you said. If Philadelphia wants to pass the ball, which they have been struggling, Carson Wentz is the most sacked quarterback in the league with 25 sacks. He's gotten over 60-something pressures. He's getting hit. Only 2 starters on that offensive line is returning. So the Giants are going to apply that pressure. They're going to make sure that Carson Wentz stays in the pocket, because when he gets out of the pocket, he is a problem. You got to protect him in that way. Are they going to be able to rush the football? There's a lot of things that has been broken down with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm just saying that if they don't go out, the Giants will have a feast if he keeps dropping them back trying to throw the ball.
I get it.
Willie, this is a team, this Giants team, that I'm telling you is already competing better than they have in recent years. I mean, the Pat Shurmur era and the Ben McAdoo era, especially towards the back end of the McAdoo era, this was a team that just didn't get out there and fight and didn't do the things to keep themselves in games. They're not perfect. They got a lot of work on their roster. Right. They're still trying to learn the offense, to learn their ways with Joe Judge, but they are out there competing. They're playing hard. I talked to Joe Judge earlier today. He says, I have no complaints as far as the effort that these guys have put in and week out. Now, they finally got their win, and now we're trying to show them the difference of why did we win this past week versus why were we just close the weeks before. But I'm telling you, other than that 49ers game, they have been in every game, and they have made the other team work for it. Right. Now it's a divisional game where you get that feeling like, oh, all of a sudden we're in this. So I expect another spirited effort from these guys, Willie.
I mean, so many points from both of you today. I'm just taking notes because later when we pick this game, I'm going to be ready. Mike and Willie, thank you.
Takes a snap. Here's the blitz. Tosses it out. It is picked off. He's going to take it to the house all the way. D-Hall for a touchdown.
Snap to Rodgers, looking plenty of time. Lofts it right side. Got a man. James Jones. Touchdown.
Stafford. Quick slant. It's intercepted. Picked off the end from the Hall. Inside the 10. Nice move. He's going to go. The playmaker does it. Touchdown.
Snap to A-Rod. Looking around. Throws the middle.
Yes.
Touchdown to James Jones.
All right, D-Hall and JJ, take it away. It's time for me versus you.
MJ, I appreciate that. JJ, what's up, brother? We are back at it again. Me versus you, man. Tell me who you got this week.
Well, first off, I want to say, man, I love watching my dog get to the pay dirt. He picking it on one hand, two hand, on the knee, getting to the pay dirt. But I've seen you pick off Jay Cutler, the Chicago Bears. That's where I'm going. I'm going to Chicago Bears. I'm going Allen Robinson, Jalen Ramsey. Listen, Allen Robinson is probably one of the most underrated receivers in the game. But as you can see, he goes up against the football. Matt Nagy moves him all over the football field. He is a playmaker. Every time he is targeted, you believe he's coming down with this football. He's hard to bring down. He's a yak master. This is going to be a problem for Jalen Ramsey. I know we just got all that bread, D-Hall, but this is going to be a problem. I love Allen Robinson in this matchup, the way that Matt Nagy uses him and Nick Foles is looking for him. And you see all the tough catches that he is making. I like him in this matchup versus one of the best corners in the game in Jalen Ramsey.
Now that's the problem. Matt Nagy's going to be calling plays, and Nick Foles is going to be throwing the football. But on top of that, come on, man. Jalen Ramsey, physical tackler, man. I'm talking about a dominant player on the edges. And I tell you what, the Rams have done a good job of even moving Jalen around. He's playing in the nickel now on occasion, so teams can't just completely not throw the ball his way. Man, I tell you what, I love Jalen Ramsey in this one.
You know, it wouldn't be any other way. You're a DB. I know you was going that route. You know what I mean? But that's all good. It's going to be a great matchup. Who you got? Who you looking at this week?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go to the Arizona-Seattle game, man. It's the old savvy veteran Pat P versus the young bulldog DK Metcalf. And I tell you what, I'm going to go on the side of the receiver on this one. I'm riding with DK Metcalf, man. And just watching this kid's ability to make play after play, bail rush out from times. I mean, he just physically dominates his opponent. I even remember watching him last year go against Richard Sherman, letting him know, like, look, Sherman, I'm here to stay. And so I tell you what, if he wants to be the man I think he can be in this division, it's going to have to be going and battling against one of the best, and that's Patrick Peterson. That was a catch he had to actually win the game not last week, 2 weeks ago, because they're coming off of a bye. So you give that Seattle offense a bye week to prepare. I like DK, man.
It didn't take me too long to get my dog on the wide receiver side. I like it. But listen, I'm going the opposite way. You taking the wide out, I'm going Pat P. Pat P and the Arizona Cardinals got it going right now. I played against Pat P a lot. We all know he is not, even at this age right now, he is not worried about you beating him over the top. He has that top end speed. So he might be sitting on a lot of these DK Metcalf routes and be able to break on some of these and make a play. And we all know, D-Hall, these division games, Nobody is tricking nobody. Everybody knows what's coming. They know their opponent. You come out there, you just got to line up and play and make the best man win. And I like Pat P in this game right here.
We shall see, JJ. I can't wait to figure this out. MJ, back to you.
Well, you guys kept it so civil. All right, we call the NFL a passing league, and yet 8 winning quarterbacks.
Let's go, Steve. Have to say about this. Bring your own energy today, baby. Go out there and make some plays. Hell yeah. When the ball comes your way, fly around and make something happen. Let's get it, baby. Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jackson will keep it on the read option. Big hole up the middle. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ravens.
Wow. Wow. What a play! Let's go!
Nice job, boys! But hang in there! All day, just like that! Build on that! Build on that! Nice job. Way to go.
Way to go, bro. Hey, great job. Todd. Way to go, Todd.
Kurt Warner back with us now, and we've waited all week to find out who made your top 5 QBs list. I feel a few surprises coming on, Kurt. Maybe a few guys making the list for the first time.
That's a good call right there, MJ, is that it wasn't necessarily a stellar week from a quarterback standpoint. So it allows me to put some new guys on the list. And let's start right at number 5 with a guy that a week ago people were wondering if he should be benched. Well, I mean, he was benched in the game, but should be benched as a whole. And that's Jimmy Garoppolo. Came out and played a solid football game, made some huge plays to get them back on track. You know, a week ago we were writing the 49ers off, and then he comes out and plays a big game, and now all of a sudden we're going, hey, these guys could challenge once again. So Jimmy Garoppolo gets the number 5 spot. Number 4, and not necessarily a Patrick Mahomes type game from a number standpoint, but in a rainy game, in a big matchup against the Buffalo Bills, big AFC matchup, I thought he played a really solid game. He was efficient with the football, didn't turn it over. You see right there, only 5 incompletions in those conditions, plus a couple touchdown passes. He gets that number 4 spot. All right, number 3, Deshaun Watson. Had an incredible game. And, you know, I still want to see this team get better at helping him to be able to make some layups and make some plays on schedule in this offense. But I'm not sure anybody's better off schedule in the NFL than Deshaun Watson. And that was on full display this past weekend against the Titans. You see it right there, 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. He was really, really good. Outdueled just a little bit, as we saw the overtime win for the Titans, was this guy who's playing better than any quarterback in the National Football League from a consistency standpoint, from top to bottom, week 1 till now. I don't know if anybody's played better than Ryan Tannehill. We saw it again. I know his running back gave him 200 and some yards, but he still went for 360 and 4 touchdowns and got the win in overtime. He gets the number 2 spot. And then a guy that hasn't been on the list all year long because this team hasn't been able to win, but Matt Ryan went out and played an unbelievable game. And we know that he's got this in him. We know they have the weapons to put it together. Will this be the catalyst to move them forward? But 371, 4 touchdowns. You see the quarterback rating. He was phenomenal on Sunday.
Oh, man. After the type of losses the Falcons have taken this year, this is a welcome nod for Matt Ryan and definitely for Atlanta fans. Kurt, thank you. And you can watch Kurt and the entire NFL Game Day morning crew Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. All right, let's catch you up on the latest headlines. The Raiders sent home their entire starting offensive line today. This comes after right tackle Trent Brown was placed on the COVID reserve list. Contact tracing shows the other players had been around him. Odell Beckham Jr. might have a bone to pick with Joe Burrow. Here's why. It was Odell handing out $100 bills to LSU players after the Tigers won the national championship back in January. They were initially thought to be fake, but it was Burrow who confirmed the money was real. Today, LSU banned Odell from the program for 2 years as a result of that, quote, act of charity. The Dallas Cowboys still dealing with the fallout of a 2-4 start to the season. Our Jane Slater reporting the internal issues around the team, with players blaming the coaching staff for their troubles. Head coach Mike McCarthy and Ezekiel Elliott addressed those rumors.
The anonymous is something I think we all don't really want to recognize, but I'll just say this. Anytime, especially this year of all years, being our first year together, I think it is important to recognize anything and everything for teachable moments. So anytime I have a chance to teach and make it clear what our expectation is, and always moving that needle towards winning. That's my approach.
You need to keep that type of stuff in house. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone in this building needs to, take a look in the mirror and figure out what they could be doing to help this team win. So just everyone look in the mirror, and see what's been going on, and fix that, and then we'll all be better.
All right, guys, get your thoughts together because I'm about to put you on the clock. Sure. Willie and JJ, we will have 2 minutes and 30 seconds collectively. So let me be clear. You got to make your points on these Week 7 matchups, and you got to make them quick. Ready? All right, here we go. James, starting with you. Dallas versus Washington. Higher number for the Cowboys. Touchdowns or turnovers?
Well, they play in the Washington football team, so I'm going to say touchdowns. You know what I mean? Because both these teams ain't been playing too good a defense. So I am going to say touchdowns. The Cowboys will have more TDs.
All right, Willie. Bears, Rams, more sacks on Monday night. Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald?
I love me some Khalil Mack, but it's going to be Aaron Donald. You see the coaches. You see what they did. You understand. This man feasts on pocket quarterbacks, guys that can't evade, guys can't run out of the pocket. Aaron Donald is a monster. I call him the Tasmanian devil. He cannot be blocked one-on-one. Whatever you do, slide the line, regardless. He's going to get to a guy who cannot evade the pocket. He's going to have a feast.
All right, James. Bucks, Raiders. Will Derek Carr outduel Tom Brady?
You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say yes, my little bro, DC. Right? We seen him. We seen him last time he was on the field. Outduel Patrick Mahomes, all right? Tom Brady ain't Patrick Mahomes right now in his career right now. So I'm going to say yes, and we see this right here. Bomb after bomb after bomb. DC has it going this year. He got his speedster back out there, Henry Ruggs. I'm going to say he goes out there and he outduels Tom Brady. Even though Tom Brady don't play defense, I'm going to say he outduels Tom Brady.
That part.
All right, last question. Willie, Packers, Texans, should the Packers be on upset alert?
They should be on alert, but I think they'll get back on track. Romeo Crennel was my defensive coordinator. He is going to look at all the things that gave the Packers problems with the blitzes, the disguising, the mixture of different zones and man-to-man coverage on the back end with the defensive backs. He is going to go after Aaron Rodgers to see if they got all the protection problems fixed. Trust me, in a lot of different ways. So if they don't get it fixed, he's going to get a heavy dose of that blitz.
JJ, we have 35 seconds. Go.
It sounded like you was going to say yes, Willie. I'm glad you held back right there.
Why y'all give him extra time?
Didn't take that upset alert right there, man. Pack don't bounce back, man. You're a smart man.
Willie, it's almost like you gave him that extra time. Look at all the time we still have on the clock. I mean, truly, we should bring this stopwatch out more often. You guys beat the clock. We still have 14 seconds left.
I could keep going right now. Let me tell you why Derek Carr is going to outdo Tom Brady.
That's it. Guys, thanks. All right, the biggest surprise in Tampa Bay has nothing to do with their quarterback and everything to do with their defense. After the break, Bucs linebacker Levante David is our special guest.
Wake up to stop feeling ourselves so much.
Rodgers drops, pressure coming against the pass. It's intercepted, picked off down the sideline. Touchdown, Tampa Bay! First turnover of the season by the Pack, and it's a pick six.
Down he goes. Aaron Rodgers gets sacked again.
Lob pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski, he makes the catch. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. What a great grab by Gronk. Holy guacamole.
Rodgers right side. It's intercepted again.
This is pretty ugly.
Wow. And that will do it. The Packers fall, and they fall hard to 4-1.
I'd like to welcome in Levante David, one of my favorite linebackers with the Tampa Bay Bucs. Levante, man, big statement win. You guys look like you guys were dominating, having a lot of fun. What was the secret ingredient to having that success and dominating against Aaron Rodgers in that offense?
Oh, man, thank you for having me first and foremost. But the main thing that got us over that, got us to that win was just going out there and having fun and playing together. Throughout the whole week, that's all we was preaching. We knew the weapons that they have on offense, and we knew we had to come with our A game to show. And we was locked in all week, and just something that we have to continue to do. It was a great team win over a great football team, and it was a great performance defensively. And that's basically the standard that we have set for ourselves, and that's something that we just got to continue to do.
Hey, I don't know if you know, but I want to be one of the first to tell you that you are this week's NFL Way to Play award-winning recipient for playing the game the right way. I think we got the play. We're going to throw your play up there. What does this mean to you to playing the game the right way, but also showing these young players and players that are trying to get to where you are, this exemplifies the correct way to do things?
Oh, man, it's always an honor, man, to get rewarded for something that, I basically, work on day in and day out. And this particular play was just a run-through tackle, type form tackle, hitting the ball carrier in a secure location and getting them down, as soon as I touch them.
You've been a part of the transition, the new coaching staff, new players you've seen come and go. But having Tom Brady, having Rob Gronkowski, guys are probably going to the Hall of Fame. How did that change you guys' mentality, work ethic, preparation, and just change everything for your team? And have they been leaders in the locker room?
It's exciting. It's exciting, but especially to see what those guys did with their former team. How they were able to become winners and become champions. And obviously, saying that, having those guys want to come and be a part of our team, that's something that they feel like we can be. They took a look. Obviously, they took a look at our roster, see what we had in our locker room, and knew that we as a football team could be on that level. And having those guys in the locker room to just steal knowledge from, just to be around, to see how they interact with people, is lovely to see, man. They play with a lot of passion. Tom, I'm sure you play with Tom. You know how passionate he is, and it's lovely to see that.
Yeah, and I know how much trash Tom and Gronk talks during practice, too. But big-time players like playing under the lights. You guys got a prime-time game on Sunday night against the Raiders. They hung up 40 points against the Chiefs. I'm not saying you guys are the Chiefs on defense, but they did hang up 40 points on the Chiefs. What type of problems do the Raiders present for you guys?
They give us a lot of different problems, man, a lot of different looks, something that we have to be real disciplined with. As far as us standing out, they have a real good run game going, with Josh Jacobs and a real, big old lineman who's, once they get their hands on you, gotta be it's hard to get off. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a challenge, but it's just something that you gotta face week in and week out in this league. But they coming off a bye week, if I'm not mistaken, so they had an extra chance to prepare for us. So we gotta do that little extra for us to get a little, a head start on them.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. I love watching you play, and good luck to you guys Sunday night.
Appreciate it, Willie. Thanks talking to you again.
Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees go head-to-head in Week 7. The Panthers QB has been making his case for comeback player the last few weeks, while Brees and the Saints are trying to keep the win streak going after their bye week. So here is how they look when it comes to the NFL.
Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas, the NFL's reigning offensive player of the year, has missed the past 4 games, 3 because of an ankle injury, 1 because of disciplinary action. Last week, before the bye, head coach Sean Payton, asked about his status on Wednesday, said, "We'll see. We think he's feeling better, but we're not going to get into injuries or predictions." And on the disciplinary front, said Payton, "I'm not interested in talking about how he responded. We are on to Carolina," which means they're on to their former quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, who in 2 seasons as Drew Brees' backup went 5-1 as starter. Peyton had glowing things to say, as you can imagine, about Bridgewater, not just as a football player, but as a person. And for Teddy Bridgewater this week, it's all about gratitude. He says he can remember having conversations with Peyton about the vision the coach had for him, the trust that was built, and the overall message that eventually, if you're going to go somewhere where you're guaranteed security. The bond was built. He has found that home in Carolina. Emotions aside, though, a big NFC South showdown at the Superdome Sunday.
After the break, a closer look at one of the best games of Week 7, the Seahawks and Cardinals, who split their 2 meetings last season and currently sit 1-2 in the NFC West. After the break, why this one may come down to Russell's arm versus Kyler's legs.
NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. GCP. Derrick Henry has been a one-man game-changing play machine.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the king.
This week, he's Pittsburgh's problem. Ahead of this Monster Sunday matinee, we raise the steel curtain, if you will, on the unique friendship between Steelers stars T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. Plus, is it reunion week or revenge week? Jimmy G heads to New England to try to beat Bill Belichick. Teddy B heads back to New Orleans, looking to outduel Drew Brees. And John Gruden welcomes the Bucs and Tom Brady to town. We'll dissect all those juicy storylines and much more on NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m.
I know you're setting up your game feeds, trying to figure out which one you're going to watch. Here are some notable matchups for Week 7. Look at this lineup. We have a lot of good ones coming up, including one we haven't gotten into yet. So that's where I bring in James Jones. Let's get into this 49ers and Patriots game, my friend. That's still James Jones's face from that picture we saw there. All right, JJ, it's you and me, my friend. So let's get into this. You just heard me talk about 49ers and Patriots. Now, the 49ers coming off a huge and necessary victory over their opponents last week. The Patriots looking to get rolling again. Who really needs to win this game?
This is a must-win for both these teams right here. I mean, when you look at their division, you look at the Patriots, they're looking at the Buffalo Bills, who are playing lights out right now, and they have the Jets. So you got to say they're going to win that ball game. And then you look at the Niners. This whole division is playing football right now. The Rams, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, they're all playing good. So whoever loses this game is really behind the 8 ball. So this is a must-win for these teams. And I'm taking the Patriots in this game, Bill Belichick, Cam Newton in this game, strictly because the Niners struggle with mobile quarterbacks. And we know that. We see him against Dangerous. We see them against Kyler Murray. They struggle with mobile quarterbacks. So you better believe that a lot of this you're seeing right now, Cam Newton running in this end zone, Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick is going to have dialed up to where Cam Newton can use his legs, suck him up, and then make some plays with his arm. But this is a big-time game. I'm going to say it again, MJ. This is a big-time game because the winner in this game is going to put themselves in the best situation to really compete and win their division. If you lose it, you're really going to the bottom and you're looking up, and it's going to be tough on you from there.
I got to say, JJ, though, this weekend what we learned from the Niners, don't count them out. This is going to be one of those games that's going to come down to the end. James Jones, thank you. And the top 2 teams in the NFC West are after facing off this Sunday. For more on the Seahawks and Cardinals, here's PFF's George Chahuri with the preview.
Christmas came early for the Cardinals, thanks to Zeke Elliott and his giving ways on Monday Night Football. But their opponent this week will have the best primetime quarterback in the NFL taking the field instead of Andy Dalton. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and the Seahawks are torching their opponents in 2020. It's going to be Wilson's arm versus Kyler's legs on Sunday in the desert. So how do the Cardinals keep up with PFF's highest graded player in Russell Wilson? The Cardinals have not been a dynamic passing team this year, ranking just 15th in per-play passing efficiency, while Kyler Murray's PFF grade from a clean pocket ranks just 14th. But as a runner, Murray is electric. The Cardinals are by far and away the most efficient running football team, and Murray's PFF rushing grade is number 1 among all quarterbacks. The Seahawks defense might be without Jamal Adams again, but they do have 2 of the best linebackers in the NFL to try and corral Murray. Both Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright have top 7 PFF grades this season. Catching Kyler will be their toughest challenge yet. While Murray scampers, Russell Wilson launches bombs with otherworldly precision. Wilson has 8 touchdowns on throws of 20 or more yards this season. That's 3 more than any other quarterback, and he's played 1 fewer game. 296 of those yards have gone to the breakout player of 2020, DK Metcalf, who leads the league in that category, as well as yards for single coverage with over 400. DK is uncoverable. The Cardinals are playing at home, but it's the Seahawks who have the upper hand with the MVP of the first 6 weeks and a coach in Pete Carroll who is going all in on Wilson's arm. The NFC West is as wild as it gets, and this one should live up to the billing.
After the break, it is time to put all our study, our homework, our guts and instincts on the line and make 2 choices regarding tomorrow night's Giants-Eagles game. Choice number 1, who wins? Choice number 2, by what score? Thursday night picks.
It is a touchdown to Goddard. Deep ball for the touchdown. Darius Slayton comes to the rush. He is hit. He's dropped. Pass deflected and intercepted by the Giants. He's going to run. He's going to dive. He's in. Touchdown. Carson Wentz lost the football. Picked up by the Giants. 10, 5. Touchdown Giants. Caught.
There's that guy again. There he is.
All right, fantasy owners, here's Marcus Grant's Thursday night starts and sits. He says you want to start running back Boston Scott, as well as wide receiver Travis Fulgham. You're going to sit, though, QB Daniel Jones and Devontae Freeman. Okay, interesting. There you go. Take it down, take it in. Let's take a look at our Thursday night football pick standings. Listen, I'm very good overall, not so great on Thursday night. Willie and JJ, 3-2 on the year. I'm right behind them at right. 2-3 going into it. Yes, that's right. So let's do it again this week. All right, Willie, you start us off. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think the Giants defense is gonna get to Carson Wentz. I think it's gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Giants. They're all right. They're playing good football.
JJ done creeped himself back up in first place with Willie Mack up there, huh? All right. Hey, you seen the sits, right? You seen sit Daniel Jones, sit Freeman. That means I'm taking the Eagles because the Eagles defense is going to get after those two boys, and they're going to find a way to win.
I'm going Eagles as well because, listen, I know they're banged up, but it's still the Giants, y'all. I think the Eagles got
disrespectful.
A little bit. No disrespect. No disrespect. But on that note, make sure you tune in tomorrow for NFL Total Access after the postgame. For the guys, everyone here, I'm Jay Costa Ruiz. Good night.